younger voters unenthusiastic on a Biden-Trump rematch? What?
I got news for you. It's not just younger voters.
No.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gen Z and late millennial voters turned out in record numbers in 2020, providing a critical boost to Biden's victory over then-President Donald Trump. But a poll released from the Institute of Politics at Harvard finds waning enthusiasm among younger voters for a Biden-Trump rematch, with more of them saying they may vote for a third-party candidate or just sit out the election.
Yeah, I bet.
A troubling sign for Democrats. Good. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
kidding.
true.
No kidding.
Good.
So that turned out to be a good story.
The number of younger Americans aged 18 to 29 who say they'll definitely vote in 2024 has dropped from 57 to 49%.
Okay.
That's a good thing, I think, because they're going to vote for the wrong person. It's clear from this poll that young people aren't thrilled
How dare you?
about facing the same choice in 2024 as they did in 2020. That's according to Ethan Jasny, 25 student chair of the Harvard Public Opinion Project.
Love her.
Which,
or him.
Or them.
Them.
Z
Yeah,
and Z.
whatever their pronoun is. Meanwhile, here's a message from Gen Zer who just entered the workforce. This is so good. She can't understand why the economy sucks. Here's what she had to say.
I cannot stand how the news has been dogging Gen Z and calling them lazy for not wanting to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their lives. Let me put it in perspective for everybody who's a little confused here, okay? I work 5 days out of the week.
What's 9 to 5?
40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric, and eat.
Oh.
All by myself. I would not be capable of doing that. 20 years ago when you were getting started.
Pause it for a second. Yeah, we can't relate to that because all of us made six figures as soon as we entered the workforce. Remember that when you got in 20 years ago?
I
or
do.
40 years ago? And you made so much money that you could live in a palace, you could pay rent, you could, in fact, you owned your own mansion at the time, and you could afford utilities and a brand new car.
Like you knew me.
And food.
It's like you knew me
never
30
ending.
years ago.
I remember working
What a bonehead.
overnights and then driving to another job. You say six figures. It was seven, sometimes
7
eight
figures
on a good year.
Okay.
With those two jobs.
Nice.
It's funny you mentioned
Well,
drive,
you had 2 jobs,
drive to
though.
your job because I remember walking to jobs. Okay.
Okay, all right. Where's the lie? Jeffy walking to a job.
Back then that's absolutely true.
I see.
Later on, no, that's not happening.
I made $500 a month when I first got into radio.
Yeah.
$500 a month.
Okay, yeah, and I will say that there were plenty of times when I lived with multiple people in apartments, and you learn to get by. That just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen anymore. Most of the people end up just staying with their parents, right?
Yeah, you make it work. I didn't want to live with my parents.
I didn't either.
And so I didn't. And I moved out at 19. And, I moved to Great Falls, which was, a little bit of a step up from the mean streets in Helena. And, you make it work.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of extra income, disposable income. Nobody does when they start out.
Some of us may actually have been assisted by their parents saying, "Get out!"
Right? Yeah, that may have happened.
I remember working overnights at radio and then driving to a job at a golf course where I was a bag boy. And there was a bunch of rich members that would come in and stuff, and I would ask them for advice. And I remember this advice I got from this one guy who I thought was going to, just basically teach me the secrets to becoming rich. His big advice was, you always figure it out. You'll just figure it out. And I'm like, that's not what I want to hear, bro.
If that kid,
You'll figure it out.
If that kid asked me one more time how to do something, I'm just going to tell him to figure it out because I'm sick of hearing it.
Give me a bigger tip. You'll figure it out.
Let's listen to the rest of her babbling. Jeez, what a moron.
When you were getting started, you could live on your own. 20 years ago, when you first started, you were able to do everything that I am now struggling to do. Let me add another perspective
Where do you
here.
get that?
You've been working for 20 years.
How do you figure?
You have 20 years of working experience behind your belt. You have
Behind my
20
belt?
years of experience in a career that has allowed you to gain raises, to get more money, to profit you in an economy that you create.
Moron.
You can sit here and you can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but I've been working my tail end off just to barely make it by. And respectfully, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I don't want to work my tail end off, wasting all of my life working just to barely be able to pay my bills.
Sorry.
And that is what you created, not Gen Z. We're just here getting started. You've been doing it for the last 20 years. You tell me how it got ruined.
20? Where
we can sit here and we can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but you let the economy turn into what it did.
Oh, we'll tell you.
You let it all run to hell.
No.
And now it's Gen Z's fault because we don't want to work to fix your mistakes.
No, ma'am. It's the Marxists' fault. They have taken your country by the short and curlies and done what they've done to it. That's what you wanted to know. The reason I'm explaining to you. So when you go to the polling booth, make sure that you don't empower more D's to do what they've done to this nation decade after decade, young lady.
But I mean, we all had it hard.
Yes,
the economy, it's not like the economy was fabulous every step of the way. No. We've all dealt with the ups and downs of economies over the years. Jeez, I started out when Jimmy Carter was the freaking president. It was bad. Believe me.
Right.
Very, very bad. Worse than now.
And I will agree with her that we aren't handing a country to the next generation better than how we found it. But it's not we that are doing this to you, young lady.
It is this administration doing this to you.
They're doing a heck of a job. Every day is something else that it's the ruination of this country.
Plus the entitlement. Geez, like everything should be perfect for her now. She should be making, $100,000 so that she can pay all of her bills.
Find something that you like to do, because I got news for you. That if you don't like what you're doing, you're going to be even more angry.
I've got some good advice for you.
She had a smock on like she was
Walmart.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Right?
She was at Walmart.
She's Walmart.
Which is not a bad gig.
I got good advice for her.
Become manager and you'll make $100,000 a year.
No, this will fix it, y'all. You'll figure it out. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, that's a
Done
wise
deal.
man once told me.
Done.